Hey guys, it's Paul, and I am just here to put a little tag at the beginning to explain this video. I tried to release it last year for Crimetober, but because I put the news recording in it, you'll know what I'm talking about when you watch it, it flagged the video and told me I was no longer allowed to have it uploaded. So I tried to take the video out as much as I could that I think caused it, and hopefully that helps so you can see the hard work I did on this video. It's a little cringy because it was one of my first videos I've ever recorded, but I hope you guys enjoy the bonus Crimetober episode that you were supposed to get last year, and hopefully this is perfectly fine for YouTube now. Their standards are really strict sometimes. Thanks, guys. Hey guys, before we get started, I would like to say that this video might trigger some people. It has to do with a suicide along with some workplace trauma that has been going on. It will have video of someone being shot, even though you can't necessarily really tell what's happening. If you are triggered by something like that, I would choose to maybe watch a different video today. Hey guys, it's Paul, and welcome back to my channel, and we are doing the Crimetober series. So in this case, we are going to be talking about the shooting that happened at Smith Mountain Lake. And I think it's an important case to talk about because, I mean, this just shows how dangerous people can be in a workplace if it's not taken seriously when multiple people have came forward saying this person is toxic to work with. So this story is going to start out with a Vester Lee Flanagan II, a 41-year-old man that's professional name was Bryce Williams. He was a native to Oakland, California, and he was a Jehovah's Witness. He was known to be incredibly hard to work with and was known to just be an unhappy man. He graduated from Skyline High School, and he was going to the San Francisco State University. He ended up getting a degree in radio and television in 1995. He had been a small-time actor and writer before he started his journalism career, and his neighbors described him as just very arrogant and rude. And he would blow things so out of proportion. Like, if he had any disagreements with his neighbors, he would throw cat feces at their houses. He worked a number of places as a reporter, and he just seemed to always be getting in trouble, and that's why he was let go. In Tallahassee, he even tried to file his own complaints against coworkers for his sexual orientation since he was gay. But he was outed by the Daily News when two women came forward for him verbally abusing him just for the sheer fact that on two separate occasions they had critiqued his reporting by saying he wasn't being factual. And most coworkers claimed he had diva behavior, and they would do just about anything to not have to work with him. But one news station, things did get extremely ugly extremely fast. So he was hired at a news station on April 19, 2012, and the news station was called WDBJ. He was going to be running the multimedia journalism side of things. They thought, since they had seen so many different places he worked in so many different cities, that actually he was probably an experienced journalist. So they were really excited to have him. But little did they know what that decision would cause. He had confrontation with reporters and photographers almost immediately. In July 2012, just a few months after he was hired, he was already being ordered to go to Health Advocate. And it was all due to his volatile behavior. And while he was being fired, he was even still lashing out at employees. So the employee was taken to a whole other room and just waited until he was escorted out by security. And this brings another person into our story named Adam Ward. So Flanagan was mad at Adam Ward because he actually videoed this whole encounter. It made people so uneasy that the news station had actually hired security to stay with all these employees for a few days after the incident just to make sure nothing would happen. So Flanagan did end up filing a complaint against the news station. He alleged that there had been racial discrimination against him by these employees, and he had named two in particular. He had named Adam Ward and then another woman named Alison Parker. These claims were dismissed for being baseless because they were thought to just be all lies. So now we're going to talk about the two people that are in his complaint. The first one is a 24-year-old Alison Bailey Parker. She grew up in Martinsville, Virginia, and she was known to be able to brighten a room. She was described to be just amazing at everything she did and tried. She loved everyone, but the person she adored the most was her dad. She had just started a serious relationship with someone that also worked at the news station, and they had been dating for about 9 months. She loved her boyfriend, but she was also known to love whitewater kayaking, community theater, Mexican food, and spending time with her family. Family was really important to her. She had attended 2 separate colleges, but she was interning at WDBJ. She had taken a job after her internship was done in another state, but she had quickly came back to this news station when a job opened for her. She had been hired to be a co-host of one of the morning shows on that station. And she had also just finished a special she was really proud of about child abuse. And she was really good at her job. And then there was Adam Ward. He was 27 years old and had actually grew up in Salem, Virginia. He was so full of life and really loved football. And he was also in a relationship with someone at the studio, his fiance. He graduated Virginia Tech with a degree in communications and media resources in 2011. And obviously he was an employee at WDBJ. He did the photojournalist, he was a videographer, and he was the occasional sports reporter. Before the incident, Flanagan had talked pretty aggressively about Alison and Adam on social medias. He was trying to explain to everybody how he thought he was being racially discriminated against by these 2 employees. He claimed that Alison was making racial remarks to his friend during her internship, and then he claimed that Ward filed a complaint against him after only working with him 1 time. So now we are at August 26, 2015. So they were doing a live broadcast around Smith Mountain Lake at Bridgewater Plaza. They were interviewing the executive director, Vicki Gardner, and she was explaining all the events they had planned for the 50th anniversary of Smith Mountain Lake. Alison was the one interviewing Vicki, and Adam was working one of the cameras. And at 6:46 a.m., you heard about 8 gunshots ring out. But we do find out later that there was a total of 15 shots. So it turned out that Vicki, Alison, and Adam were shot during this. If you watch Adam's camera work, you hear these shots and then all of a sudden his camera just falls to the ground. But it kept recording. But because it kept recording, it did catch Flanagan holding a Glock on it. When the news station reviewed this footage, they took it immediately to the police. It was really hard to understand what was happening watching it live though. You did hear gunshots and you saw Adam's camera fall, and you did see a man with a gun, but you couldn't tell really like who was shot, what was happening, or anything like that. Vicki was shot in the back, trying to play dead in a fetal position, but she was rushed immediately to a hospital. She was left with permanent injuries though. She lost her right kidney and part of her colon, but thankfully she did survive. Alison was shot in the chest and the head and was pronounced dead at the scene. And then Adam was shot in the head and torso and was also pronounced dead at the scene. And all of a sudden it just flashes back to the news station with a poor co-anchor that's just staring at you confused. because she doesn't know what happened, but she knows it's bad. But this did end up causing a 5-hour manhunt. At 8:23 a.m., Flanagan had faxed a whole suicide letter to ABC News. He talked about his racial discrimination and his sexual harassment for being a black gay man in the workplace. Said he was targeted for those reasons. He had said that his anger had been building for quite some time. He had called himself a human powder keg that was just waiting to go boom. He even said that he closely related to people that caused violent acts, mass shootings, and terrorists. And had even said in the letter, "Yeah, I'm fucked in the head." So around 10 a.m., he did end up confessing to police. And by 11:14 a.m., he started tweeting. If you had went to his Twitter, it had said, "I filmed the shooting, see Facebook." And on Facebook, he had posted a video he took on his phone while he caused the shooting. So you literally got to watch him walk up to the scene. He had his gun out for about 15 seconds in the video. While the gun was up, he did mutter "bitch" to Alison. He lowers the gun off camera and then quickly puts it back up, and that's when you start hearing the shooting happen. It is clear that Alison is shot first because she did jerk, and you could tell that she was trying to get away as fast as she could. And you couldn't necessarily see Adam very much in the frame, but you did see his camera fall. And then you see him pull the camera away while he shuts it off, and I'm pretty sure you can tell that he's starting to run away, and then went east on I-66. An automated license plate reader on a Virginia state trooper's car did ding the car like that, and they were able to start the chase. This state trooper immediately called backup. They planned on just administering a traffic stop, but he did flee from them. And about 2 miles into this chase, you did see his car start to swerve off the side of the road and go into an embankment. And when you walked up to the car, it was apparent that Flanagan had shot himself. In his car, you were able to find a whole mess of stuff. There was a Glock with several magazines and ammunition, a cell phone, letters and notes, a to-do list, a suitcase with 3 license plates in it, several disguises, and a wig. So Flanagan was rushed to the hospital, but he ended up dying at 1:26 p.m. Politicians were so apt to jump on this barely before they were buried, which just doesn't sit right with me. But that was able to open a door for some of the family members to get into politics and be able to talk about this. But quite a few media productions were delayed or even canceled due to this incident. Throughout the media community, they were very respectful to what happened. All social medias took down Flanagan's accounts. President Obama even said that he was heartbroken to see and hear what happened. And about 4 years after this happened, Gardner did try to sue WDBJ for hiring such an unstable employee. She claimed that they did not look into his background at all because there was tons of evidence that he was a not great employee. The case was dismissed, and I have to say I do not agree with it being dismissed. I think Vicki is right. I do personally blame the news station for hiring this employee. It really sucks that we watched on live television 2 people get murdered for very small negative behavior, if it happened at all. So who even knows if what he's saying happened, which is even sadder. That's the part I can't get past. We watched this happen. We watched it happen on TV. Comment below what you think of this case, and do you remember this happening? Because this is like a vivid memory for me. It's wild. Back and rewatch my Unsolved in West Virginia series. Rest in peace, Alison and Adam, because You guys did not deserve to have your lives taken that way. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like this video and subscribe for me and hit that notification button so you're notified the next time I upload. Alright, thanks for watching guys. Bye!